Well, hello again. Welcome to another Quarantine Cast with Brian, Cody, and Craig. I'm Brian Noonan. That's Cody Gough. That's Craig Collins. Hello, boys. How are you?
Good.
More like hello, men. Am I right? It's
Yeah.
man time. Get ready for beers, broads, and boobs, which is a subset of broads.
Wow. Suddenly, we're doing a morning show in Tampa, Craig. This is gonna be fun. We're the crazy big show. Then all we got to do is get some young lady who's just gonna laugh and then go, "You guys are crazy." And that'll be the whole thing.
Turn the lights on.
What happened to Cody's lights?
I don't know what's. Listen, I haven't known what's happened to Cody for months, to be quite honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you're here. Hope everybody had a good week. I said I'm excited because on my list of things to talk about tonight, politics is not on there at all. So after last week, I am going to step back and let one of you take the first topic. Whatever you want to bring up, you can bring up.
Oh, wow.
I know at some point, I hope we talk about this miserable weather that I'm sure Cody loves that I hate. But again, I am going to cede the floor to one of you. You can wrestle it out. I would like to see you Greco-Roman wrestle to decide whose topic will actually be the first one discussed here on the Quarantine Cast.
You and I are not so different. I had the same. My instinct last week after that incident was to just show up and not talk at all and just be like my producer mode where I just kind of chill and don't really say a lot. But you brought me a topic. You literally delivered a topic to me physically that we cannot that I have to address. You didn't even know this. You brought me a bag of stuff and there's a thing in it that is just so worth talking about. It's just comedy gold. I don't know. Craig,
comedy gold. Jerry,
Craig, you know that I saw Brian?
I heard.
Dropped some stuff off.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. All right. So, Brian cleaned out our lockers, WGN, because I haven't been there in a year. And a publicist sent us a book in 2004 or something. I don't even know.
Not too late.
No, a lot of stuff in that locker.
Yeah, it was old. No, it was this is dated. It was like 2014 or something. I know it was at least 4 or 5 years old. But anyway, this book. And okay, so this is what happens at a radio station. Craig, you know this, big time radio dude. A lot of authors and press people and publishers, they'll send you books, right? They send you the book and they say, hey, if you want to interview the author of this book, we'll hook it up. And then they're an expert and it's great. I do this all the time on Curiosity Daily. We talk to authors all the time. They're great. Well, we got a lot of these are unsolicited. Oh man, let me boost my gain. Is that better?
That's
better.
That is a lot better. Hey, before you go any further, can you check? I'm trying to check. Are we? We had to do this last time. Are we on Facebook?
Are we live?
We're definitely live.
We're on the YouTube. It seems like our comments have been from the YouTube.
I know we're on YouTube, and I'm trying to figure out why it doesn't appear that we are on.
Facebook doesn't like us a lot anymore.
Are you able to even open Facebook right now? Because I'm trying to open it and I can't.
Yeah, I've got it open.
Really? I literally won't even load for me.
I just loaded it.
There's been, I don't know if you know this, guys, but a bunch of websites went down today. Like a lot of websites.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was huge. Of course, a lot of those websites happen to be stock exchanges.
Stop talking, Cody, and tell us what the book is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What's the book?
We had a topic going.
I get it.
I'm getting so antsy.
No, I don't know if we're live on Facebook. Facebook no dice. Mike says Facebook no dice. Sorry, Mike.
Wow.
Thanks for the update. Yeah, dude. I'm able to open the app, I guess, but I don't.
It's gonna be a tease all night. I'm never gonna get the book story.
All right, so we get these books sent to us. Yeah, we're not live on Facebook.
All right, I don't know why. I'm gonna figure it out.
All right,
I'm going off, boys.
All right.
Goodbye.
Well, oh no, if I go off, then I think I have to take. You have to take us all
with you. Are we gonna
take everybody down?
I don't know.
I know. I'm trying, folks.
We'll all come back. How about this, YouTube audience? You've been awesome for hanging out. We promise to be back to you shortly.
Give me 2 minutes. Because I went through this. Here's the thing. I went through this earlier. I checked everything this afternoon because when I signed on, we were not set on Facebook. And then I fixed all the settings that it should. But yeah, give us 2 minutes, friends. We'll be right back.
Oh,
I think we're still here.
Oh, like we're still here, but he'll be right back. Okay, that's fine.
No,
Okay,
he
all right.
said all of us. I
Right,
will
so
just
Craig-
stay.
So Craig, I get this book, and like
Okay.
I don't want to break bad on this publicist. They're just doing their job. The author's
Right.
just trying to make money, right? Like I'm
Right.
not. The purpose isn't to make fun of these people, but
Right.
just the whole thing. It's a funny thing that we got, right?
Right.
All right. So there's a sticky note on it. First of all, the sticky note on top of this book says already more than 30,000 likes on Facebook.
Ooh,
Okay. So that's how you know it's hot.
30,000.
Here it is. Here it is, Craig. Craig, have you ever wanted to find the holy grail of 27 ways to spot women who need sex?
Yes.
You have. All right. Well, that's good because there's a book for you called Men Are Pigs, and That's a Good Thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Discover the 9 secrets and 7 strategies to finding the girl of your dreams. Girl.
9 secrets, 7 strategies, 30,000 likes on Facebook. This sounds like a winner of a guest. I would book this immediately.
Right. Okay. So that's fun. All right. So it comes with these like press, materials, right? You get a couple pages. And
Yes.
it usually comes with a bio of the author and you get a little background. But Craig, you're going to love this.
I am.
This came with sample questions for the interview. And this just would get me.
Give me a tease. Give me one of them.
So
I want a tease.
So Craig, pretend you're a radio host and
All
you've
right.
been handed this. Here's pretend you're a radio host. You're like a really famous like national.
I'm not.
You're a very good radio host.
Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
You are. So all right. Number 1. Here's the question you should ask. You, the radio host that I'm telling you what to ask.
Mhm.
You are a bit of an expert, and that is why we have you here to talk about sex. We heard you're the sex whisperer. But that title is loud? Question mark? What is
Does it give me an idea of what his answer is?
No, that it just
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Like why?
I think it's probably something to the effect of that, like, noise is a good thing in the bedroom.
It's just like what self-respecting radio host would get these press materials and then be like, we heard you are the sex whisperer, but is that title loud? Is it loud? Tell me, Brian, is the sex whisperer a title loud?
No, the sex whisperer was a serial killer in Southern California in 1974.
Is that real?
And I
I
said
still believed him.
it with the kind of conviction that would make you think it's real. Here's the situation, gentlemen. There is a problem with Restream connecting to Facebook because while we are live on YouTube, it is saying that we are sending data to Facebook.
All right.
So
I'm going to share the YouTube link to my Facebook page. Let's just tell all of our Facebook people to YouTube it up.
there you go. Perfect. Why? Yeah.
Can you can do that too, Brian?
Well, I have to get to YouTube.
I'll let you do that while I continue to ask Craig these award-winning questions.
All
about this.
right. Now, wait. This is a book. Again, this is a book that you've had in the locker for how long? A long time. And it's
What?
about, give me the title because I was trying to figure things out.
It was Men Are Pigs, and That's a Good Thing.
Oh, right. Sure it is. Okay.
Brian, I'm pretty sure they sent us both a copy of this when we were still at Tribune Tower.
I remember you talking about it, but I don't remember seeing I don't remember seeing it.
It was in our drawer, but it came to us at the tower, right? So when did we move from Tribune Tower? 2016?
Oh boy. Sure.
No.
Okay.
It had to
15,
be later than that.
18, 100.
Yeah, something like that. That 18 sounds a lot more accurate.
Okay. All right. Well, we got it 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know. There was a date somewhere on here, but I don't know.
I thought you said 2004.
No, that was wrong. I forgot. There was one other just really ridiculous question that I just thought you'd get a kick out of.
For
I gotta
what?
find it though, but the second one's pretty funny too. It starts with, "Okay, I read your book." So We're just putting words in the radio host's mouth at this point. Spoiler alert, a lot of the radio hosts that interview authors and get the books don't have time to read the books, especially if they're interviewing an author like every night. Now, the one exception...
What? No. Nope. I won't admit to that.
Yeah, sure. Well, the one exception to that might be Milt Rosenberg, the late, great Milt Rosenberg, who I'm sure read like 16 books a day. Right.
My favorite thing I said to Milt Rosenberg one time, it was after I produced his Sunday show for a while. After one of the shows, he had made so many references in the show, it was insane. And I was like, Milt, what would be cool for the listeners? And even I know people have called in and asked for like something you mentioned. We should just do all of the things you reference as a post on Facebook after a show. And he looked at me and goes, that's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Craig. And I said, why, Milt? And he said, that would be full on impossible to put everything that I reference on a show into it'd just be impossible, Craig. But keep trying. Keep the hard work going. Like, thanks, Milt.
Milt was great. Did you have to take the test to fill in for him?
I did.
You did the test? Zach Christensen, his producer, would give us Milt had Zach administer a test to his fill-in hosts, right?
Accurate.
I don't remember anything about it. What he asked, like, how many books have you read or something?
There were history questions on mine. There was like American history questions. I can't remember what else was there. It was essentially like just a demonstration that you had some form of education. I felt
an amazing show to work for.
Yeah, Milt was a great guy.
The quiz for Brian's show was fantastic. You had to name at least 14 beers from Revolution or Goose Island at the time.
You also had to say what an inauguration was.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You had to allow yourself to have things thrown at you from time to time, and that had to be okay.
Boys, now you're making me sound horrible.
They weren't violent things. I've worked for people that throw violent things.
What did I ever throw at you? What did I ever throw at
I don't think you've ever thrown anything.
He never threw a shuriken because he doesn't know what that is. So that's off the table right there.
I've thrown a hissy, but other than that, it doesn't. I don't really think I.
Did you use a fancy name for a ninja star? Is that what you did?
I did, and you. But who knew that it was a ninja star? You did, Craig.
Yeah,
that's why I just rolled right past it.
See, but Noonan, why the pompousness, Cody? Why can't you say a ninja star? Everybody knows a ninja star.
Craig, because we had a discussion on Brian's late great radio show once about the word doubloon, and apparently everybody knew what a doubloon was, and yet no one knew what a shuriken was, which I thought was ridiculous. I mean, I get that. Okay, we know what doubloons are because Pirates of the Caribbean was a thing. Disney marketing machine. Let's go, dude. But
I don't know, man. Hold on, pump the brakes. You're talking about money versus weapons, right? Doubloons is a form of currency. People are probably more familiar with currency than they are weapons.
Right. And pirate culture is a little more, I think, popular than ninja culture.
That I disagree with.
Yeah.
Really?
The Ninja Turtles. And for my generation, the Ninja Turtles made ninja I went to see them in concert. I don't know if we know.
Corrected.
Yeah. Like you know what a bow is?
I do.
Yeah.
Right. Donatello had a bow staff. Right. But in what other context besides the Ninja Turtles, like, do you know what a bow, like in any part of my life have I come across a bow staff other than Donatello?
Wow.
I wish I had a good story right now.
Yeah.
I've never come across a
story too.
Yeah. Checkmate, libs. All right. So one more question.
Wow. Wow. Checkmate, libs.
This is my favorite.
Where is it?
Let's do that.
This is for the Sex Whisperer?
Sex Whisperer. Here's another good question. Okay, I read your book. Tell me about the Holy Grail and some of the 2 traits of women that need sex, ? Not just want, but need sex.
Nope, they do.
I can see why that could be the Holy Grail for guys. Like, you're writing dialogue at this point. This publicist is LARPing as a radio host.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of these really horrible morning shows and afternoon shows and evening shows and midday shows where they get a couple minutes for their interview. This way, plus, I'm guessing the Sex Whisperer is not the brightest bulb in the marquee. So I'm going to guess that he would have, like, if he was on with us and we went off script, the Sex Whisperer would have a lot of trouble coming up with an answer. It's like every other
talk. That can't be possible. The Sex Whisperer has to have answers to all the questions, man.
I don't know. I look at this as just like doing a pre-interview when you're on Letterman or something, where they make sure that the answer is going to be good.
if we're gauging it from the PR person's demonstration of a lack of any sort of trust, then okay, maybe this person is terrible. But how much arrogance does it take to write a book about having sex with women and how you're an expert of it? Like that alone, to me, any guy that goes the road that I'm an expert of sex and I'm going to help all the other men in the world, that guy's going to have a crappy answer to a lot of questions because he thinks a lot of himself and he shouldn't.
Well, that's true. And I felt bad when I just did my leaflet about how great I was having sex with women. I can't imagine doing an entire like leather-bound book.
To be honest, the leaflet gets a lot of pub on Reddit because it is very well written.
Sure. Oh, well, it's double-spaced.
Right.
I proof all my work.
Yeah.
But you should have done like me and gotten a designer so you could make an infographic, because infographics about how to get it on is where it's at. I found the worst, most offensive question in here. And
all right, let me see. Hey, then throw it out to Craig and I like we are sex whisperers. And we'll have dueling answers.
All right. You'll love this question. Let's cut to the chase, Ron. It says that in here. Let's cut to the chase, Ron. We all know what guy is like in the bedroom. Why is it, for the most part, the women don't like providing that?
Brian, this one's for you, Ron.
Well, Ron, thank you for asking. That's a very good question. The reason the ladies don't like it is because you are a repulsive pig man. That's why they don't want anything to do with you. I don't have that problem. As I said, I am a master. I'm the sex whisperer. So I have never run across anything that the ladies will not succumb to with a little pressure and a pillow.
Succumb to, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
You missed that. That's coming out in the edited version or the director's cut of my book.
Right.
Where I do the if all else fails chapter.
The director's cut of your leaflet.
Right.
If we're going back to Brian. Right. Okay.
Sure.
But
I was Ron. I was channeling Ron.
I remember.
I'm gonna feel so bad if the author and or publicist are huge fans of our show. They've been watching like religiously for the last 3 months, and now they're just like, "Oh, you're making fun of my book." It is funny. Look at this cover. It's like a hot.
Hold on.
Bubble.
I'm not getting my chance here. I thought we were doing dueling answers. I thought I got to be Ron.
Ron, your answer to that question, Ron?
Yeah. Well, the first reason that a lot of women think they don't like those very fun things in the bedroom that you and I and a lot of guys do like is that they haven't really tried them. They're with a lot of timid guys that aren't really capable of convincing them to try these things that are new. And once you get the new and exciting element in there, I got to tell you from my own personal experience, the women sure enjoy it.
Wow, Ron, that's a great answer.
Why, thank you.
Butt stuff.
This show.
Ron. Thanks, Ron. That was graphic.
That was 3 dueling answers. You had Brian's, you had mine, and then you had butt stuff, which I don't even know if that's a Ron thing.
Listen, I don't know. I didn't read the book, obviously.
Right.
So I don't know what's in there. I don't know what the Holy Grail. I didn't cut to the chase and get to the Holy Grail. I enjoy that every week your bottle of beverage gets bigger and bigger. I hope that somewhere by springtime you are just hooked up to a tanker truck.
I would like to be. I bought this Coke. I bought this Coca-Cola, and I asked Betty if she wanted me to share it with her, and she said no. So I'm having all of it for myself.
Did you ask her prior to backwash or after backwash?
Prior to even opening it. This was pre anything, and she said no.
Yeah. That was very nice.
Mm-hmm. She did eat my ramen noodles, and I'm still upset about that. So I don't want to share. I'm not in a sharing mood right now.
Ron, is that one of those things that the ladies like to do in the bedroom?
Yeah.
Eat your ramen noodles.
I flipped ahead to the 27 Holy Grail ways to spot women who need sex. Here's one. The subheader is rubs.
I love you have the book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, reference here.
Well, we wouldn't trust him if he didn't.
Right.
Sure. No.
This is reference.
Now I know this will surprise you, but this is actually a way to spot a woman who needs sex. This is going to shock you. Rubs.
She's in my bed.
She'll rub your wick under the table while at dinner with others. So
my wick.
Yeah.
Ron, you didn't know you were a candle maker.
I didn't know that that's the size I would go with when I'm I would have referenced something larger, but that's just wick.
Yeah, wick.
Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think
That sounds very small.
that this is like hard to know. Like, right? Like, if a woman's grabbing my crotch under the table, I'm like, I think that's.
I might be
somewhat-
confused. I might
I've got to
have
say
needed the
that has never happened. And I would say, are you trying to borrow my napkin?
Mm. And that could be.
Could
See-
be she needs a napkin.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
All right,
like-
give me another one because I don't know if John Wick is gonna come out swinging.
I don't think he can even swing. Wicks don't do that.
They dangle.
They barely do anything, a wick in a
Yeah,
candle.
without the wax around them, they're just a limp string.
The entire time. It's barely
Yes, it
exposed.
just lays
to the
there.
string.
Just-
All
Right.
See if you can misinterpret this one, though. All right.
All right.
Consider it. She brings you the Viagra on a serving plate to let you know what she's thinking.
Okay.
Wow, she's thinking, I wish I was with a guy who could get it up by himself.
Holy Grail.
Hold on. The book says these are the secret, like 27 things that
Mhm.
he's dissecting for us.
Mhm.
And one of those things is if a Viagra pill was delivered to me on a tray, that would be the easiest. There's no question whatsoever.
Mm.
I see, and I look at it the other way that she's like, listen, I'm not going to be disappointed like I was last time. So just take this and lay down and shut up.
But
Mm.
Noonan, you still demonstrated she obviously would like to have the sex in the immediate future.
Well, yeah, but at that point, she's just trying to.
There's
the
very few circumstances. I can think of zero circumstances where a woman would deliver a Viagra pill on a tray to a man and sex would not be the next desired thing.
Maybe she's hoping you have a heart attack.
Mm.
One circumstance.
All right,
Depending on my
good.
age.
I needed there to be something else in
Right.
there.
There is one.
That's true.
All right,
turned
well,
down
man,
the gain.
Ron
Can you
sucks.
hear me okay? Am I
Yeah, I'm
level
not-
still okay?
You're low. You're very low.
I'm low.
You're
again.
still low.
All right.
Can we see? What's Ron's last name? Like, what's happened to Ron?
I'll die if it's Ron Perlman, the
That'll
actor.
make me. Yes.
Jeremy.
What
Ron
is it?
Jeremy
No, it's Ron Sturgeon.
Sturgeon.
Yeah. Do I need to jack up again? Ron Sturgeon.
Ron Sturgeon,
Yeah.
the fish man.
Wow. Net worth, celebrity net worth, $75 million.
Stop
there's,
it.
there's an endorsement on the bank by Greg Morse, president of a Texas bank. That's just all it says.
So it says president of a Texas bank.
It does.
Did Ron Sturgeon? Did he also write How to Salvage Millions from Your Small Business? Same author.
Somehow I doubt it.
I don't know. He had a bank, president of a bank, just a bank on the back of his thing. No, yeah, other books, How to Salvage Millions from Your Small Business and How to Salvage More Millions.
Yeah, I found all his books on Amazon. This guy is worth $75 million.
Is
How
he?
can that be?
Because, well, he knows how to bed women, clearly. So
No.
Is there money in that?
No. No. It's actually, this is a weird, this actually might bring up a topic Cody wants to talk about that Noonan doesn't want to talk about. But there's a video game.
I'm up for anything.
There's a video game I play on my telephone, and one of the YouTube celebrities for my video game recently made a joke about how people who spend money on video games can't make tutorials for people that don't, because the people who spend money have way better things than the people who don't spend money, meaning like you buy better things in the video game to have stronger heroes or whatever.
Right, yeah.
This is the same sort of thing. Ron Sturgeon at 75 million is getting women to have sex with him easier than most men that look like him because he has $75 million.
Yeah, which
He is
came
not
first?
playing the same game.
Yeah, it doesn't, he's selling that book to schlubs.
Right.
And
He's trying to give advice that he doesn't even comprehend himself.
No.
Doesn't work, but it does for him.
Well, he doesn't want to admit that he's only pulling tail, which is a horrible thing to say, horrible way to put it. He's only meeting the ladies because he's got the fat bankroll.
He doesn't know it. No, someone who wrote this book doesn't even know. They're so in denial that they pretend they actually are desirable, and it's not the millions of dollars that the women are after. It's true.
I hope that the lovely ladies listening realize that we are giving this guy a hard time for his misogyny and not participating in it because it's 2021.
No, we are.
And ain't got time for that.
Didn't we have one of the pickup guys on the show once?
We had a pickup artist on the show, and he
We
freaked
did have
me
a
out because he maintained eye contact and didn't blink for 2 hours.
Yeah, he was freaky. I don't
Literally.
It's arrogance. That's
Not
the
a fan.
pickup artist people say that arrogance is what you need to be successful. That's it.
It's changed a lot, honestly. I actually read the game. The game was like back in 2000, God, the early 2000s. It was like the Bible of like pickup artistry, and it taught you. I mean, it taught a lot of stuff and kind of explored the culture. But
The culture.
my
You
big
just called
takeaway,
it the culture.
the whatever it was, it was like weird.
No,
But
no, no.
it's morphed since then. There's like pickup artists that like are kind of like comedians that are just like, here's some ways to make girls laugh. There's pickup artists that are jerks that are just like, women are objects, let's have sex with them. There's pickup artists that are like, hey, work on your self-confidence, like you can do this, like motivational. So there's so many like little branches and stuff. It's like I think it's a hard like thing to like generalize, because there's actually some good stuff. There's some good like self-helpy kind of stuff that is labeled like pickup artistry, and then you might associate it and be like, oh, this is just like how to score chicks, and it's like, no, it's how to work on yourself, and then people will find you more attractive and you'll be more successful in life. So there's a wide spectrum, and you can kind of pick and choose, but yeah,
How do you
not
take
the good part?
how do you take topics like this as seriously as you just did? How do you treat it like it actually has any level of value and seriousness? The pickup artist books are a flaming pile of trash, every single one of them.
Have you read
And
any?
that's the hottest take of hot takes in the show.
Wow.
Have you read
They
any?
all are.
He
I don't
called
read
you out.
any of them.
Wait, is this like the time you made fun of Doctor Who and you'd never seen an episode?
Yes, this is exactly the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
I do arrogantly think, though, maybe I should write my own book, that they're all just a flaming pile of trash. If you want to work on yourself, get a self-help book that isn't designed to just pick up ladies, because that's not all it takes to pick up women, to
Well,
go
I mean,
after that one thing.
If I can point out that the three of us all have ladies.
We do.
So we
do.
We must know something.
Wow,
'Cause-
no. I think mine is just very kind. I don't know if I know anything.
Wow. I don't know. I know enough to talk to a lady.
Yes.
I've talked to a number of ladies over my lifetime. You know?
Could you talk to another one?
No. I don't know if that'd be so sick.
I
Of
meant
course
just
not. What-
talk. I didn't say anything else, Noonan.
No, I don't leave the house, Craig. I don't.
I told my wife.
I
the
talked to
other day-
you and Cody.
Dude, I told my wife the other day, I was like, I don't think I've seen a woman under the age of like 40 other than you in a year. And I
Wow.
wonder, like, yeah, it's like,
Because you moved to the suburbs?
where would I see one?
Aren't there suburban women under 40?
You can't count girls that are under like 12. All right. So there's like toddlers, and then there's
Well,
moms.
who had those 12-year-olds?
Who had that? Well, yeah, but the mom, I don't know.
Okay,
The moms typically, I don't think there's that many.
Cody,
30-somethings.
there's going to be a lot of questions now. I Noonan and I can trade.
Yeah, go
The
ahead.
first one.
Go ahead. I'm
do
taking
you,
a sip.
Do you go grocery store shopping at all?
No, we order it. It's delivery, curbside
Okay.
pickup. They put it in the back of our. Actually, a young lady did load my trunk the other week, and no, that's not a euphemism.
Sure sounded like
I got. Sorry, Brian. I've been working with you too long. I had to. I knew where it was going to go.
Well, I was hoping it was a euphemism.
Yeah,
I wasn't, because it doesn't sound like a fun one.
why?
Mhm.
Sounds like.
Anyway,
maybe, you need to
continue.
maybe you need to read that chapter again.
I guess I do.
Craig, I believe you forgot about the previous analysis that our expert Ron mentioned. Butt stuff.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just let that sit there.
This is a wildly different episode than last week. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
It is.
It's a little more lighthearted, fun. So wait, I'm still waiting. Craig, you said Cody had something he wanted to bring up, that you thought the not the butt stuff, which I think
Right.
Cody has brought up ad nauseum.
He has. Apparently, Cody should write his own book, and it's just going to be titled that.
Listen, I think it's a nice change of pace. I don't think we've ever explored that on the program before. Either here or terrestrial.
I don't want to explore that with either of you. I'm just going to be honest. You can explore amongst yourselves.
Well, all right. Be narrow-minded if you need to. It's fine.
Okay. I will. I'll tap out. I mentioned video games, and I thought Cody would talk about GameStop for 2.5 hours, and we would just leave the
let's
show,
hope not.
but he didn't do it.
Well, he started on the book.
Yeah.
Video games, Cody.
All right.
Video games is a topic.
Look,
What's in your mind?
Let's bring this up, because I know Cody wants to talk about this GameStop stock and Reddit guys and all this. And I'm going to be honest. I read a bunch of stuff today on it. I don't know the stock market at all, which is a sad thing to say. But I think I'm like a lot of people in America. I'm not in the stock market. So I understand, Some people buy long, some people buy short. I know there were guys on Reddit who were mad at the hedge fund manager, and then two guys from Illinois, two bazillionaires, one who just bought the Yankees, was it the Yankees or the Mets?
No one just bought the Yankees.
Huh?
Someone just bought the Mets. No one just bought
It's the Mets. Okay. So one of the Illinois guys who came to this hedge fund manager's rescue is one of the guys who just bought the Yankees or the Mets.
Right.
The Mets.
Yankees are not for sale.
I understand. But other than that, I don't get it. I know now they're trying to do it with AMC movie theater stock too. So go ahead, Cody. Explain what's going on in the world of high finance when I'm still trying to do it
through the world of the housing bubble crash, because that's what other people do.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. When we talk about shorting a stock, we usually go to the shorts and the mortgages, right?
Is that right?
There's movies. Steve Carell is in one of them. It's very good.
I would like to watch The Big Short, and I know I would learn a lot.
I watched The Big Short. It was very interesting.
Yes.
See, and I actually haven't. I know what it's about, but I haven't seen it. But I'm really blessed, fortunate, because my mom actually like parked me and my sister down when we were like 10 years old, and like literally it was like a Sunday night, and she's like, "I want to teach you about the stock market. You need to learn about investing like right now, because the number one asset that a person has, the number one asset anyone has when it comes to investing in anything is time. So the earlier you learn about it, the better off you are."
You're just wrong. You just got it wrong. You failed every assignment you've ever been given by mom. The number one most important thing to investing is money. Number two is time. If you don't have any money, time is irrelevant to how successful I am in the stock market.
Yeah.
If you invest $1 and it doubles every year, I mean,
if I have no money,
you have no money. But I'm
right.
So to understand what's happening with GameStop, you have to understand what a short sale is. Do you know what that is, Craig?
Ooh, he put you on the spot.
You're counting on something to do poorly, so you buy it at one price, expecting it to drop, and sell it I think you sell it before you buy it. Is that right?
Yeah, you effectively borrow shares. So let's say Brian wants to buy 100 shares of GameStop, and Craig, you have 100 shares of GameStop, but you're just hanging on to it. So I say, hey, Craig, let me borrow. Let me borrow your 100 shares of GameStop. I'll give it back to you in like a month. I'll sign a contract. You get it in a month. You're like, okay, why not? So I take the 100 shares and I say, here you go, Brian. Here's all these shares you want to give me. Market price $20 a share. Great. You give me all the money. I've got all this money. It's great. I've got all these shares. Well, a month later, I've got to give you your shares back. And I'm hoping that a month later, I can just go to the market and be like, oh, there's 100 shares of GameStop. I'll pay $10 a piece for them. And then I buy them at a lower price than Brian paid me for them. And then I give them back to you, Craig. And then you're like, oh, great. I got my shares back. That's what a short is.
That's a great way to explain it. Or you sell them before you buy them work too. But no, yours was good.
But it does involve borrowing. But that's important. That's an important fact, because you have to give them back. Like that has to happen, right? And that's what's created the situation. Hedge funds have this way of pretty much manipulating the market. It's pretty nefarious. You be the judge. They'll buy a bunch of shorts of a stock of a company they don't think is doing well. So right now, that's any retail company. Bed Bath & Beyond, GameStop, AMC. There's so many. Like, they're not making money, obviously. So we'll just sell a bunch at the current price, and then in a month they'll be down. So we'll make money. The problem is hedge funds also then go on CNBC as analysts, and they go on and they're like, oh, GameStop's not worth anything. Yeah, they're going to be blah, blah, blah. So it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're basically kind of like pumping out propaganda. This is true. Watch CNBC any day.
Nobody's arguing with you, Cody.
I'm just saying, pumping out
Shut up. It's not true. Liar.
All right, Craig's arguing with you, Cody.
So they've been doing this for years, right? Well, someone on Reddit, there's a like a meme Reddit called Wall Street Bets, and all these people mostly joke around the stock market. They'll occasionally talk like real stuff, but they'll make these like crazy trades where they'll buy some stock that they think is undervalued and it'll blow up, and that's what they call it, Wall Street Bets. And what they noticed was GameStop's short supply was so high, the hedge funds got a little ahead of themselves. So 140% of the stock is shorted right now. That's more than all of it. That's all the stock plus a whole bunch of the stock. So the guys on Reddit said, that they were like, you know what? If we all buy the stock and the stock price goes up, then when these hedge fund contracts, when these shorts expire in like mid to late January, they will have to pay whatever price GameStop is to get these stocks to honor their contracts. And so everyone started buying, and now hedge funds are literally going bankrupt because they sold these stocks at like $20 a share in early January, and now the stock is like $350 a share. And if they took out, and actually aggregately Friday, 20 million shares that have been shorted have to be purchased. So there are 20 million shares that will have to be bought at whatever price the stock is at on Friday, whether that's $300, $500, $1,000 a share, based on their initial investment of $20 a share. Tens of billions of dollars are going to be lost by hedge funds this week. And it was basically Reddit just kind of looked and they were like, you guys completely screwed yourselves. Like they just shorted way too much. So
I got real confused in there, Noonan. Did you?
I'm sorry, what? I took a nap.
Wait, really?
Well, the biggest problem I had goes back to your example explaining how to short something to us a while ago. Because the way I said it now seems to be right, and the way you said it wrong. Because borrowing didn't seem relevant. How could you over borrow? If I had apples and you wanted to borrow apples to give them to Noonan, you couldn't take more apples than I had in borrowing. You know, it's a tangible thing.
But if you had apples, and I had apples, and my wife had, and he borrowed those apples from everybody. Now he's got everybody. Because the orchard is split up into bushels of apples.
Okay.
So everybody's bushel is a share of that stock.
Right. What I'm trying to say is at no point could Cody get to 140% of our apples, because like he'd only get to 100%. There's no way he could overdo in borrowing the more apples than exist.
There is only so much stock.
Right. So
where did they manufacture that other 40%?
So this is my question about the borrowing thing. There's so many different ways for us to do this now. We all do it in some imaginary situation in where no one actually trades anything. So when you said that you have to borrow, you don't, apparently. You just say you're going to borrow from somebody, and then we accept that on Wall Street, and that's cool. Because to get to 140%, you can't be using real things. These are imaginary
Bitcoin,
things.
Does this have anything to do with Bitcoin?
It does.
I think it has everything. Does it?
So too. It's all cyber.
I believe, and I don't understand the stock market that well, but I believe the idea is you can borrow more than once. So you can like borrow something and then it gets borrowed again. And that's how they
can't do that with apples.
And I think actually, Craig, the other thing is that like it depends on when the contracts expire, because like some of the contracts will expire this Friday, some will expire the following Friday, et cetera, et cetera.
All right.
But but
then who owns it? I don't know who owns it.
No, exactly.
Nobody.
Nobody
owns it.
But what's ridiculous about it is a lot of people in the media are like, "Oh, it's a pump and dump." A pump and dump is when people.
Are we going back to the sex guy?
I think that's from Ron. That's when you meet a lady at a bar and then you never see her again.
That's why all those books are trash, because someone somewhere wrote a pump and dump as one of the moves.
I just can't believe that twice so far we've used that term, and I haven't said it. No, I may be guilty of it, but I have never said it.
But we've said butt stuff 3 times. So,
well, no,
not we.
Yeah, right. Noonan and I have said that none times.
No, you said it once.
Did I? Okay,
it's very important. But but it's different than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was just pure speculation, right? It was just like, oh, we think it'll go up, so it goes up. This is speculative. There's a lot of that, but there is like you got to pay the piper. And this week and next week, when more contracts expire, like you got to pay the piper. There is a finite, like there is a built into the market, a mathematical necessity for these shares to have to move. The price is going to go up. And so that's why you're seeing it go up and up and up. These hedge funds are trying to snatch up whatever stocks they can. Meanwhile, Reddit is like, you hedge funds, you caused the 2008 crash. You screw Americans all the time. You basically bury companies. Like if they had their way, they'd have just destroyed GameStop. Like, that's not cool. There's 50,000 people that work for GameStop. Those are American jobs. It's all US based, right? Like, it's garbage. They're like, we're done with you. And so you get to now reap what you sowed. And these hedge funds are just losing billions. And it's a huge ideological war. And a lot of these guys on Reddit are literally buying stock just to screw them over. They don't even care about making profit.
Right.
Like,
well, now today, AMC's stock was up 200%.
Wow.
So it's different. So that's another highly shorted stock.
Correct.
A lot of Redditors are targeting highly shorted stocks. AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond. This is not investment advice, by the way. I'm just saying that those are generally. Now, the thing is, none of those stocks are being shorted to the extent that GameStop is. GameStop is like such an extraordinary case.
You know, when your mom was sitting you and your sister down to talk about investing, I had no frame of reference as to what it was, but I do remember a story about a girl on YouTube, a little kid. She was like 12 or something at the time. I think it was Yahoo, actually. It wasn't YouTube. I don't think YouTube was even around. There was some sort of finance section where people gave advice, and she somehow convinced that community that she was a financial expert. She was some adult human. She was doing interviews and stuff. All of this in like grade school and or high school at a certain. She made a crap ton of money. I almost said a different word off of her own, as you said a second ago, her own advice. She'd buy something, tell everyone to buy it. It would inevitably go up because she had a pretty big, at that point, amount of influence. And then she'd make a crap ton of money off of it. And I don't know how long it took for people to find out she was a child, but that's all it takes in Wall Street. You just, I need to invest though. Are you invested in things other than Bitcoin, Cody?
I am invested in the stock market, and most of it, like so actually the vast majority of there's a couple ways to invest, Craig. There's you buy an individual stock. I'm going to go buy Apple. I'm going to buy Disney, whatever. Or you can basically invest in the market. There are these exchange trade funds where you're basically just buying a broad category. If the stock market does well, you do well, right? Statistically, the vast majority of the time, if you just like get stock in the general stock market, like you're just gonna do well because it's America.
But that's what all of our retirement accounts are.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the smart. That is actually statistically, people like Freakonomics has done stuff on this. That's the smart way to invest. You hear stories about people buying Apple and it goes up 500%. You buy GameStop, it tripled, and you hear those in like the American dream. You want to be the guy that like becomes an overnight millionaire. That's not typically how it works. GameStop, this is a once in a lifetime situation. Like this will literally never happen again. The Securities and Exchange Commission, first of all, will probably prevent it from happening again. But second of all, right now it's a perfect storm of people really pissed at hedge funds, people being very desperate and willing to take risks because we're in a pandemic and everyone's broke. This is real. And thirdly, like the math just kind of works out. And the crazy thing is the hedge funds are still taking out shorts. Like a week went by, GameStop skyrockets. They're like, wow, we're going to get screwed on our shorts. And then the hedge funds are like, well, what would be a good idea? Let's buy more shorts. And like, they're kind of right. I mean, the stock will eventually go down and it will be smart, but it creates more of the Wall Street bets people coming in. So it becomes this chicken and the egg, and it's just going to keep going. Buy more shorts, buy more stock, buy more shorts, buy more stock. So the sky's the limit. I mean, this thing could go to like infinity in the next like week. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but
oh, it's fine. We did a great job. We explained this very well. I'm just curious if the money kept getting like thrown at GameStop, can they just do stuff with it? Like eventually, did they get a check for all the selling of their stuff? Does it somehow get back to the people, or is this money just going to go into the investors' hands?
They've just been no commenting. They won't say anything about it. So I don't know what's going on.
Brian, can they release more stock? If they were a company that could make more stock, right now is the time. Release more of your stock, people.
You can, but I think maybe GameStop's looking at it as like, if we do anything, it could change the momentum. And right now things are good. Like, I don't know.
I want us to get to a place where we struggled with 2020 and 2021. And then this happened. And the dude who sold me a video game this year is a millionaire. I just want him to someday, like, cause that would make the last 2 years make the most sense ever. If like that dude who's been high 95% of his life is now way more wealthy than I'll ever be.
Brian, what are your thoughts on this? Because you said you've read a little bit about it.
Listen, I am so far removed from the financial world that it's not even funny. I don't understand any of it. I mean, I get the stock market. I'm not involved, unfortunately. So it's to me, it's all a world that I am not privy to, which is unfortunate. But
yeah. Marine does tell me that the stock market is a secondary market.
I think it is. I think it's great that they're putting the screws to these guys, because that is what happened when we had as Craig pointed out, the housing crisis. We'll bring that back in. We'll circle back around to the housing crisis.
Steve Carell, Christian Bale, Big Short. Watch it. Great movie.
Right. So listen, these guys on Reddit, they got the dough to spread the word, and they're buying the stock. It's all what they're doing is legal. Just the hedge funds don't like it. And now this guy, the one guy that I saw profiled today, where the two Illinois billionaires or multimillionaires had to come in and help him out. I don't know. He's had a really good record, but again, that's a really good record making money for his rich clients.
Mm-hmm.
Not a really good record helping anybody else. And for every person that is in the stock market, there's a number of people who are not in the stock market. So you hear about this kind of thing and you're like, I don't know.
I'm going to join the stock market during this show.
What's that?
I'm gonna buy a stock during this show now. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm not in the stock market, Noonan. Let's get in. You and I get in.
What are we gonna buy?
Do you got a little bit of disposable money? You got $1? That's all Cody said we needed.
Did he say we only needed $1?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was one of the first things I debated him on. Is he said it was more important time than money to be an investor, and I said no, you needed money first. But I think he said something about $1.
You can buy a penny stock.
No, penny stocks, I was told they're all awful.
They are almost all awful, but maybe they're not. Buy a penny stock goes up to $3. Right. You know, buy $1 in it, you get a couple $100. All
right, which website should I use, Cody?
I don't know.
The 21 best stocks to buy. I'm going to figure some stuff out, guys.
A lot of people like Robinhood. That's very popular.
Right.
But they've kind of gamified stock trading, and some people, they're coming under fire.
Wait, wasn't Robin Hood in Silicon Valley?
He was in tights, actually.
No, I know, but wasn't that one of the companies in Silicon Valley?
Oh, the TV show?
Like
yes.
The TV show? Was it?
Oh no, it was Pied Piper.
Pied Piper's the main one, but I think there was a Robin something.
There was a Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robinhood. No, Robinhood's really popular. I don't know much about it. TD Ameritrade's been around forever. They manage.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
TD Ameritrade. There's one called Investment Brokers or Interactive Brokers. That's another one.
Oh, TD Ameritrade is the Ricketts. They're big Trump supporters.
Okay. I don't really care who the website supports. That has nothing. I want to be able to purchase a stock by the end of this program.
I think Molly's got a couple shares of Disney stock that somebody gave her when she was a kid.
Okay.
So she's in the stock market.
Who's somebody, Noonan?
I don't remember, a grandparent or somebody.
I thought that was a very long pat on your own back. I thought
no.
Disney stock.
Please. If I had given it to her, I'd have sold it years ago.
It's still worth a lot of. I think you would have made a horrible mistake.
Apparently, my grandfather, who was a stock market player and did very well for himself, and did extremely well for himself. And
did he write a book?
Very happy dude. Didn't write a book, but he apparently at one point owned so much Apple stock that if he had hung on to it for like 10 years, he would have been a billionaire. But he didn't think it was going to go.
If only he could write a pickup artist-esque book for the stock market, then this would be as cyclical as we could make this conversation.
That would have been great.
Well, I don't know if it'd be that cyclical. We'd have to add one more thing. I think you know what that is. I think you know.
If it involves your grandfather and butt stuff, I quit the show.
Doesn't involve my grandfather and butt stuff, but it does involve just the second one. Where does Brian keep going? Is he doing all right?
I think he's trying to fix Facebook.
Oh.
Buying a stock is much harder than I want it to be right now. Yeah.
I believe it's pronounced stonk. This week. Are you still?
I love this show.
Last week.
I love it.
We can't hear you.
You can't hear?
Who can't we hear?
Oh, now we can. There we go.
No, I went away to see. I'll have it all fixed. We are definitely not connected on Facebook, and I've tried everything I can while I'm still part of this. So I'll have to go in and mess with it tomorrow. But we are live, and the audio will be posted as always tomorrow.
We haven't about as many people watching as we usually do on Facebook. So whatever you posted on there, I think people found their way.
Yeah, I saw we put a nice link on there. It's not that I don't see the importance of this whole stock market thing. I come from a long line of people who have not invested in the stock market.
Let's not talk about it anymore. We don't care. Let's talk about Detroit style pizza and how it's an abomination.
So I've never heard of this monstrosity.
Detroit style is the newest pizza from the Pizza Hut. Go ahead, Noonan.
No, well, it's the newest pizza from Pizza Hut, but it is a style that has been around for a long time. a
Lies.
chain that this is like Doctor Who. Have you ever been to Detroit?
No, I know it's been around a while. I know Detroit ruined pizza just like Chicago tried to, but Detroit takes it up a notch. If Chicago pizza is, in my opinion, a sandwich and not pizza, this Detroit thing is like someone vomited out pizza.
First of all, Chicago has a number of styles of pizza. So for you to
No, it doesn't.
yes, come on,
No, it
tavern
doesn't.
stop it.
Wait,
Tavern
what?
pizza is a style. Pan pizza is a style.
It's one style that it's known for throughout the world. And then within Chicago, Illinois, there's a bunch of other places that serve other styles of pizza that happen to be in Chicago. Some of them are New York style. Yes. No. Chicago has one style of pizza.
That is, I can't believe you live here and say that. That is so wrong. That would be like me saying that every pizza in New York is $1 slice that I got in Brooklyn when I first got there.
That would be
it's
great.
not.
That would be great.
It's fine pizza. $1
really-
slice of cheese
really
pizza is
good.
fine.
But I'm not saying
I
that
didn't
other
eat.
I'm not saying that other
child.
pizza doesn't exist in Chicago. Chicago has many types of pizza.
Correct.
They're not Chicago style just because they're created in Chicago. That's not how that works.
It's the marketing has made deep dish the quote unquote Chicago
Tavern
style pizza.
exists so many places throughout this country that Chicago doesn't get to claim tavern pizza as one of its styles.
Mm.
This is true. They didn't invent tavern pizza.
Are you sure?
I used to get tavern pizza at the pizza place. My mother worked at the community college in New Jersey, and there was a little tavern pizza place connected to the college. And I used to get pizza there at like 10 years old in Jersey. And that was tavern style, Chicago tavern style, in some college shop.
Well, all I know is I'm looking at the internets.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, known as party cut or tavern cut, this crisp square cut style emerged in Midwest taverns after World War II, according to Rose Baracco George.
That's weird. Why didn't it say Chicago?
Huh?
Why did it say Midwest and not Chicago?
I don't know.
Is that you're just claiming all the now you're like every Chicago person that pretends everywhere downstate doesn't count. I'm going off the books. I'm going off the rails right now.
Wow. You come in with your hot takes about Chicago pizza. As a guy who didn't grow up in Chicago, now you're just a transient living here. You got no real ties to the city.
On, the point is to crap on Detroit style, which is if someone vomited Chicago style pizza up, that is what that pizza is. And for whatever reason, Pizza Hut and some other places seem to think that it's good to invest in creating this as an option for Americans throughout the world, throughout the country. I think that's terrible. I think they need to stop immediately. Everyone needs to eat pizza the correct New York style way and have other sandwiches or items that we don't call pizza, but we have new names. We just need to name the other products.
Like butt stuff.
This is the problem with the majority of people who hail from New York.
All right.
They believe that everything in New York is the only way to do things. Now, I enjoyed going into Greenwich Village and eating. I wish I could. Now I can't remember the name. It's a famous pizza place in Greenwich Village. And it was fantastic. Great pizza. Does that mean that that's the only pizza that is any good in the land? Absolutely not. Now, I will admit I was not I hadn't really heard of Detroit style, but then the chain Jets, Jets Pizza, they are known for their Detroit style pizza.
Interesting.
And it's, for those who don't know, it's kind of a pan pizza, but the crust is a little bit spongier. It's cut in squares. It's
sacrilegious.
Hold on.
It's fine. It's not my first choice. It's probably my third choice of pizza.
So wait, what? I want to know Craig? What is a good pizza to you?
A good slice of pizza, one, is a triangle shape like every Ninja Turtle ever consumed. They never ate a square. At no point on that cartoon show did anyone ever get thrown a square.
Squares
they were living in a sewer and they didn't have any class.
Yeah, squares are fun.
No, squares are atrocious for many, many reasons. The highest of them being the fact that you don't get crust on every slice. That is just idiotic. It's idiotic. Pizza comes with crust. That's a thing.
I'm gonna give you that. I don't like the middle pieces.
Yeah, no one does. They literally don't get eaten on pizzas ever. They're half of what's in our food landfills right now is the middle section of square cut pizza.
No,
It is atrocious.
No, I used to dislike that, and then I saw the light, and now I eat.
No,
the
you're a
skin.
troll. You're trolling right now.
I'm
You
not.
don't like it at all.
I know. I never used to like it, and then I was like, oh, I'll just start. Your hands get messier, which I don't like. I hate when my hands get messy.
Slap Craig in the face with a New York slice. I love this. I love when this happens because I've done this in the Midwest on radio now a bunch of times, saying how Midwest pizza sucks, and people always attack me. But the people in New York don't.
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong.
We have 30 people
Pizza
on the
here does
stream
not
right
suck.
now. Hold on. I have a request for all 30 of the people watching right now. Every single person comment, one comment. If you've never commented before, I want your comment virginity on this comment.
Wow.
Tell me if you like the middle section of a square cut pizza.
Literally, Maureen said yes.
No,
Maureen
we're gonna-
says yes. I will say
No.
Debbie eats the middle pieces.
Middles are the
Maybe
best.
the
Okay, I've got
middles are the
two.
best.
We're gonna have like 25-5 if everybody who's being silent comments and says just one time that they think middles are terrible.
Your point, just because you don't like the middle pieces and I don't like the middle pieces, doesn't mean that the Midwest.
We're doing an
pizza sucks.
experiment.
It
31
doesn't-
people.
Blake just says yes.
It doesn't mean the pizza
Mike didn't help.
sucks.
Do you hate middle pieces in a square cut pizza? Yes or no?
All right.
Comment right
you're
now. I
talking
want all
about how
31.
the pizza is cut, not the pizza itself.
Love the middle pieces. This is trolls. Now I'm getting trolled.
Craig,
Wow. You are. I'm sorry. Do you have some thoughts on the election too?
I do. Yes, it was rigged. No, I'm kidding. It was definitely not. It was definitely not rigged.
I am. No. I might not like eating the middle piece, but that doesn't mean that the pizza itself is subpar.
It's been ruined. It's been ruined since half of it's not edible.
No.
I can eat the entire pizza in a circle cut, a square, or a triangle cut circle of beautiful,
Maybe
delicious,
it's just
crusty.
that you are afraid to broaden your horizons.
No, I've tried all kinds of pizza, and most of them are an abomination.
Yeah, but you.
hold
I
on.
mean-
I still never drilled down to what Craig likes. So you like triangles and like what else? What
It's gotta be a thin slice of pizza with a generous amount of sauce. There's got to be some drippy cheese situations. A little bubble is actually my favorite. You got to have the right amount of flour and other things kind of on the bottom end of the pizza. There's got to be some grease, some decent amount. Like if you pick it up and fold it in half, which is how you're supposed to eat pizza, by the way, you're supposed to fold it in half.
You are a monster.
It needs
You are
it needs
now
to leak.
trolling.
It needs to leak grease and beautiful things, and then you eat the slice of pizza, and life is good. And any
who's,
other
who's
version.
trolling now? Who's
I'm
trolling
not
now?
trolling.
It
He-
needs
He
to
asked me how I like
it
pizza.
needs
I like
to
it the way that it's supposed to
It
be.
needs to leak grease and beautiful things. You know what else
Yes.
you would like, Craig? You know what else you would like, Craig? Butt
Don't do
stuff.
it. I knew he was going to do it.
There it is.
I didn't want it.
There it
Listen,
is.
I don't want to get. I believe you are fundamentally in error. I am, but I'm not. Listen, I don't have the energy to argue with someone who is that
Passionate?
far off the scale. It
Okay.
just, now
Either or.
let's get back to your Detroit style, which was your premise at the beginning before
Yeah,
you
it's mine.
decided to pull down your britches and defecate all over our pizza. Now, I'm going to grant you that I have had horrible pizza in my time, but it's normally when I'm not in the city. If I am in some small burg and I
Mhm.
try their local pizzeria,
Mhm. Mhm.
horrifying. But that's all over the country.
Correct.
That's why
There is a
in-
great pizza place in South Bend, Indiana, by the way. South Bend, Indiana is a place that you would assume every pizza place is trash. But there is
Why?
one
Why would
delicious
you
pizza
assume-
shop.
Why would you assume
Because
that?
it's Italian. It's not a big place. They're not going to make great pizza, as Noonan just
never
said.
know. All it takes is one person who has some.
Rocco is
knowledge.
that guy. Rocco from New York is that guy in South Bend, Indiana, making delicious, delicious pizza. Try out Rocco's Pizza if you go to South Bend.
New York is listen. I notice you don't live in New York.
I'm trying. I
Are
would
you?
desperately want. Yeah, the wife finally said it's okay to shoot for jobs, the places I want to live, and so we're going New Jersey, New York. This is the hope.
Wow.
I know. I hope to have an update sometime on the QuarantineCast about a new gig in New Jersey and or New York. Yes,
More like
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, New Jersey, New York.
I know. I want to be Jersey too, by the way, which most New Yorkers would make fun of me for too. But I'd rather be Jersey than New York.
Really?
Yeah, well, I was born there, and I'd like to get on the. I told Betty, I wept. Noonan, Cody, I wept.
Uh-oh.
I told Betty that if I could hop on a train and get to a Yankee game, like if I could tell her at like 5, 6 o'clock at night obviously pandemic's over at this point and everything's back to normal. And I'd be like, you want to hit a Yankee game? And she'd be like, yeah, I'll go to a Yankee game with you. Hop on a train and go. That's a life dream. I don't care what, I'll do any job if I can do that every so often. So that's all I need, guys.
The problem is with any job in New York, just saying I'd do any job, you couldn't afford to go to a Yankee game. You could barely afford your Metric card.
I couldn't even afford to get on the train. Right. I'd be taking something else.
Well, I still have a portion of an unused Metric card in my wallet. I'll give you.
Ooh, I'll take
I
it.
think I got a couple rides on it still.
Good.
A
From when
portion
Dolly
of
was
an
there.
unused Metric card. I maxed out my Ventra card, and they wouldn't let me continue employer contributions because I have more than $400 on my Ventra card.
Oh,
That's what happens.
Well, that was a
when
weird
you're
brag.
Commuting to work. I'm never going to use it. Who wants 400? I'll sell it to you for $300 cash. I will sell you my $400 Ventra balance.
We changed.
wow.
There was a minute there where you were just offering it out. Then I had to
Very
pay you.
annoying. I hate that company
Holy cow.
more than Craig hates pizza. Brian, am I wrong? But when Craig was talking about the perfect pizza, he literally just described pizza. Well, it's got to have sauce. It's got to have flour. It's gotta
Yeah.
have
No. It's got to have a generous amount of sauce. A lot of people under sauce their pizza. That's a big problem. The
Well, see,
greasiness.
there's places around, and I don't eat the quote unquote Chicago style pizza very often. I do enjoy it on occasion, but only from a couple places. I eat mostly thin crust or tavern cut pizza. That's
like
just
a good human.
right. That's how I was brought up. That's what we eat. And I always find a local place. I'll try like every time I move, I have to try a few places. And actually, this is part of an essay that I wrote for an upcoming book that'll be coming out that John Carruthers is putting together about pizza. He's doing all sorts of recipes. He's modeling the book after an old church cookbook, that the parishes would put together where everybody gives their recipe. Well, he asked a number of pizza people and chefs to do recipes, and then he asked other people, myself included, to write a pizza essay. So my essay was Pizza, a Love Story, and it will be coming out in the book. So I will, when the book is finished, I will let you know. But the point is, I'm not any different from everybody else. The first thing I ask when I move into a new place is I'll ask the neighbors, where's a good place to get pizza? And then you try a bunch of local places. And I've found, like at our last place, there were 3 real good ones. So it was, whenever we would decide to order, it was all right, what are we in the mood for? And here there's one there. The one is our pretty much solid go-to.
Wait a minute, though. I want to go back for a second. You said you had Bleeker Street Pizza, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the place in Greenwich Village where you had pizza?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Joe's. Was it
on
Joe's?
Bleeker? I think it was
Okay,
Joe's.
that's another one. That's some of the best pizza in the world. You can't say that most places have pizza to that level, correct?
It depends. Yeah, I will. Now, if I lived near Bleeker Street, because I've been at Joe's twice. First time it was fantastic. The second time it was just good.
You can have an off day. I think everybody can have an off day, but like 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the best, the fantastic version.
It was really, really good. I enjoyed it immensely. Does that mean that one of the places that I go here is inferior? Absolutely not.
Yes,
there can be a number of excellent pizzas.
I'm sorry, Noonan. If you were in charge of the Olympics, everyone would get a gold medal, and it would be a boring thing to watch.
No. I'm saying of the pizzas that I hold to that level, and I'm thinking of 2 right now that are the top of my list. One I live too far from to get. It's out near where I grew up
in New York City. Yeah,
no, and one is here now. So those 2 and Joe's, I'm gonna put equal. That doesn't mean these are the local ones are not less by any stretch.
No,
and
the only reason your brain is doing that is because one's more achievable than the other one. No, that's the only reason your brain's doing that.
Not true.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. By the way, the audience totally failed me. Most people didn't vote. I begged everyone to break their comment virginity, and tell us if they like middle slices.
You just don't like that the people who did comment said they like the middle slices.
I'm not surprised with the cast of regular characters who comment on things that they turned against me, but let's get the quieter people involved. Come on.
I'm actually surprised that usually I'm the lightning rod for negativity. I'm also surprised, Brian, that you're taking Craig seriously at all. By now, if it was
I'm
me,
not. I called him out. I called him out on being a troll with his hot takes, his hot radio takes.
Yeah.
I enjoy arguing pizza. I'm very serious about my take, by the way.
You really make me want pizza. Dude, last Friday we ordered Pizza Hut. You know what? If I want a good pepperoni pizza, Pizza Hut just does it, right? Like, I don't care. They're big box. They're square pizza. Oh, shut up, both of you. Pizza Hut, pepperoni pizza from Pizza Hut's delicious. Put in the comments that you agree with me. I will once again be champion supreme of this podcast.
I haven't often felt like there's a good demonstration of what it feels like when I do the beer talk with you guys. But that was it. When I don't know anything about beer, and both of you are talking about like the very fancy beer you just had, that's Cody's take on Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut's good. Pizza Hut?
No, it's not.
Pepperoni
When I lived in Sparta, Illinois, the only pizza available to me was Pizza Hut, unless I got my Tombstone pizza at Kroger for my laundry night home cooking.
Yeah.
I ate a lot of Pizza Hut because it was all that was there. One night when I was in Union Pier, Michigan, drinking wine at my friend's house, we drank a lot of wine, Debbie, myself, and my friend Marge. And the only thing open was Pizza Hut. And drunk and desperate, that was the best pizza I had ever eaten. In that 40 minutes.
Whoa.
Wait, in
You
that
threw
40,
so many adjectives out that made so much sense with how that sentence
let
ended.
me finish
Drunk
my
and
sentence.
desperate. No, that's
Listen to my
even judging.
listen. In that 40 minutes that I ate that pizza, drunk and desperate, it was the best pizza ever. The next day, my feeling had changed 180 degrees. But in that moment, it was the best pizza I ever had.
Producer Dan asked me if I'm going to cook another pizza on the show. This is something I did live on a radio show. I made a frozen Tombstone pizza Noonan because I wanted, when we were broadcasting from home, I thought that'd be fun. I don't know if it worked, but maybe we'll make a show or a pizza on the show. And then also he said that his favorite pizza is someplace in Maryland that I'm not going to read because that's not New York City. It didn't end with an address in New York City. So Dan, it doesn't count.
Craig, did you, I know that you probably experienced the recent snowstorm that we all did. Were your
Correct.
trash cans knocked over?
I would have been updated immediately had it happened by any of the many weather people that broadcast to our community. But my trash cans were secure. They were fine.
Okay. Well, then it wasn't much of a storm now, was it? Now,
No, it
Brian,
wasn't.
I learned
The trash
something.
cans, speaking of trash, the people who live across the alley from me have moved their trash cans, and they don't have a garage. So their trash cans are out and making my hard turn into my garage very difficult. And yesterday, as I shoveled the alley, which is the worst part of having to shovel, trying to shovel the alley so you can get out of your garage, I was like, I shifted their cans just a bit.
Did you
That
get in
sounded like
trouble?
euphemism.
Well, no, they don't have a garage, so they're not using the alley except to block my way with their cans.
Brian, I learned this week that when it snows a lot, you need to shovel the driveway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because plows come and then they make like a wall of snow. And your car doesn't like that wall of snow. Even when it is a vaguely colored of some sort, Subaru, larger vehicle. It is tough. I left the house today for an appointment, and yeah, it was hard.
Can I have a conversation with one of our listeners named Mike? Will you guys talk amongst yourselves about other things? Because Mike, no. That take is out there all over the place, and just no.
What,
Does it mean
Chicago
that there's
better than
less
New York?
trash? There's less trash in the streets of Chicago than in New York City, but that's the only thing better about alleys. There's nothing else. But do you want to hang out in alleys, Mike? No, you don't. Stop.
Do you want trash everywhere, burning
A little
hot
bit
garbage
extra
in the
for
That's
world-renowned
New York.
things.
in the sun?
Sure.
New York smells bad. It is a
does
city that
not.
smells bad. Like
Smells
that-
like energy. Have you ever been to a basketball game?
no.
I've
I
been to a
don't like
Bulls
that.
game.
I don't like
Yeah,
basketball.
You're in Chicago.
You sweat at it. You have energy. You win championships if you're the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, New York smells like energy, like effort. That's what it smells like.
Smells like desperation.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Anybody else?
I don't know. I don't know.
So
if
anyway,
God bothers
back to your driveway.
Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead.
I was thinking of you as I was shoveling. Yesterday's snow was the Widowmaker. It was that wet, heavy snow.
Mhm.
And thankfully now, the amount I have to shovel in the alley is much smaller than a driveway. And the rest of my shoveling was not bad. But I kept thinking, man, I wondered if you were going to shovel. Because as we pointed out last time it snowed and you made one little path for your postal carrier.
So
But you're right. When the snow plows come, the end of your driveway is a nightmare. And I used to remember when I had a snow thrower, I'd be down there and it never failed. I would just finish and here comes the plow. So a lot of times I would just stand at the end of my driveway with my snow thrower and the plow would then swerve or lift his blade so that he didn't throw stuff on my driveway that I had just finished. Now, if I wasn't standing there, he would have covered it completely. But because I stood there, it was probably easier for him to say, you know what? I'm not going to kill this guy with frozen ice chunks. I'm just going to leave his driveway. I'm going to show mercy to this feeble old man.
Well, I was going to, it's snowing and I was going to go out and shovel. And then next thing, because it was like, Monday afternoon, I guess. And I walk over and my wife is like, oh, someone shoveled our sidewalk. It was like, what?
Nice.
I just looked outside. So our neighbor has a snowblower. Maybe he just walked down the block and back, I guess.
That's what I used to do. I would go on the sidewalk and I would do like 2 houses on each side of me because our block was gigantic. But I would do my neighbors just this. I wouldn't do their driveways,
right?
But I would do the main sidewalk.
Right. Yeah. Well, since that was done, I didn't really have to go out, and then it gets dark at 1 p.m. or whatever. So I was like, maybe tomorrow I'll shovel, and then I did shovel some driveway today because we had to go in and out a couple times. But man,
I'm surprised you haven't hired a child from one of those apps you have to shovel for you.
You mean to shovel or for something else?
I don't order children off apps, Craig.
Didn't you? Wasn't there like a lawn mowing?
What child hiring apps are out there?
Wasn't there a lawn mowing child at some point early on in the house?
They were high schoolers, not children.
That's a child. That's not 18. That, my friend, is a child.
18-year-olds can be in high school.
Okay.
High school
maybe
can be 18.
I don't know. This feels like now you're lying.
Listen, I'd hire a young adolescent to shovel snow. They don't have to be 18 to shovel my snow. In fact, I will say this. There was a kid somewhere I don't know where he lives, somewhere down the block. He was walking. He had a parent with him, and he shoveled one shovel path from all the way down the block, from corner to corner.
So he was getting punished, do you think?
I don't know, but here's what got me mad because, I can't even let a good deed go. Mm-hmm. The person who was walking with him, instead of walking behind him so they didn't mash down and leave footprints in the unshoveled snow, was walking in the unshoveled snow. Undoing all the good that this young man had done.
Garbage.
Yeah. Mike, I do think you're evil. And I made a very crazy eyes when Cody said that people would do extra snow blowing. I would never do that. I just wouldn't snow blow for others. I don't know. Wait, isn't that supposed to be a thing you're supposed to do? Because I'm a jerk, I guess.
He's from New York, and all they do is...
Yeah, that's true. Because he's inside screaming that he can't get good pizza.
No, hold on. Let me get back to Chicago listeners.
I'm not shoveling your snow.
Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back to the beautiful Chicago people that are mostly fans of this thing. Mm-hmm. Dibs is very, very intelligent. You should be able to do dibs. Any big city, if you shovel a huge path after a bunch of snow, I should have dibs on that area for a good amount of time. That's a thing. And so in the same vein, I'm not going to shovel your sidewalk, just like I'm not going to shovel an extra parking spot. I get my dibs.
What if you have one? I agree with you on dibs. I know that surprises you. I actually won a debate last year at Goose Island. I destroyed a guy with my pro dibs stance.
Fantastic.
But with a snow thrower, I don't because I just I'm one guy with a shovel and but if I still had my snow thrower to walk down a couple houses for my neighbors to do the sidewalk, it's one thing down and one thing back. I have no problem doing that. Or if I had a neighbor who was elderly.
See, don't do that one. Don't do that one. Because I would help out someone who can't. If there's someone that I live next to and they were a nice person, or I guess even if they weren't, but they physically couldn't do it and I had the snowblower, yes, in those situations, I might be a little bit kind and help the person who's physically incapable.
All right.
Other than that, it's up to you, bud. Cody's a new homeowner. He's got to learn the shoveling, the snow blowing. You can't just do it for him.
No, but he's got to do
growing up.
He's got to do his driveway and the walk, from the driveway to the house, that and the steps, that he's got to do all that himself. But if somebody is going to walk down the public sidewalk and do it,
I don't know.
He's
going to start moving in with his parents and eating avocado toast. I can't help this millennial.
And I would hope that Cody would do the same when he finally gets a snow thrower, that he goes to his, just does it. It's nothing. It's no effort.
Yeah. If and when I get a snow, I can't get over snow thrower. I just never have ever heard that term.
I had not until I bought mine, and everybody called it a snow thrower because I had the big one with the augers. I had a monster.
Nice.
Oh yeah, 2 augers. It was crazy.
Mike in the chat saying, what is time limit on dibs? 69,420.
Accurate.
Just go with it.
Okay.
What is the time limit?
Listen, I didn't yes and, but I also didn't shut it down.
Look,
so
I don't double.
If you want an answer to that question, just check out any Ariana Grande song that's very popular right now, and she answers it with the math she does. I have to go, gentlemen.
That is a weird deep cut. Explain that before you leave.
Yeah.
69. She's got a new song out. Have either of you listen to music?
No.
Not Ariana Grande.
Well, it's all over the radio. Do you listen to any? It's one of the most popular songs. Okay.
Terrestrial radio, it's dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave on that note because I'm obviously now the odd man out who admitted to listening to too much Ariana Grande. But if you Google it, 69 is technically the name. It's not actually the name of the song.
Plug yourself.
The numbers add up to 69, and there's a reference at the end. I was just ending Cody.
Plug yourself.
Anything you want to talk about before you leave? Anything you need to plug?
No, I've got nothing coming up, guys. I hopefully am moving to New York, New Jersey in the near future. But other than that, I got nothing.
Next week?
Maybe. You never know if the pizza's right.
Listen, good luck. Are you going to work at a pizzeria? You going to work at Sal's in Bed-Stuy?
I would take that job. I'd take a job. Any pizzeria in New York, I'd take that job. Because
Mookie got fired, so you'd be the delivery guy?
Yeah, it's totally fine with me. I can do it. Okay. However, I don't think it'd pay me enough to live in the city. So
no, it doesn't.
It's going to be rough. I might
even real jobs don't pay enough to live in the city.
Right. I'm going to have to convince the wife to get a few roommates, which is not a fun argument, not a fun conversation.
Oh my God, that would be the absolute worst thing. Ever.
Would it
yes.
though? Yes. Then you get on that train and you go to that beautiful Yankee game and you bring your 3 roommates that you just met from Reddit.
Awful life.
That would be horrible.
That sounds like hell.
We have no kids.
You are
we're just 2 people.
Man.
Craig. We're just 2 people.
With a wife. You don't.
Yeah. You can do it.
No.
Craig.
Have I ever told both of you? Wait a minute. I'm not going to go yet. Have I told both of you before that I convinced Betty to move in with me and one of my college buddies? When I was still dating her before we got married. And I think actually maybe a little bit into the marriage, we were living with my college buddy and it was working out great for me and for him. It wasn't perfect for Betty, but it was doing pretty well. And I do think that that's kind of like TV shows make it look so appealing. And if you try it, if you've ever tried it, there's something nice about having an extra roomie. It's true. Yes, it is.
Oh, God.
You know what? There's something nice is having space. You can rent like a 4-bedroom house in Des Moines for like $200 a month. It's just so cheap there. And Des Moines is a great city. And
Casey, the wife doesn't want to do everything you want to do. You know that there's some things like, a video game that you want to hit for a couple hours. You got a buddy. Just living next room over.
That's horrifying.
It is horrible.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
I say it's horrible.
Horribly horrifying.
You were right the first time. It is horrible.
It's
Betty begged me to move and we moved, but I think it took like a year and a half.
I wonder why she begged you to move. Maybe because it was hell.
No, it was great.
That's the worst. That's probably the worst hot take you've had.
You haven't tried it. Hold on. Let's do the full circle. I get blamed for having hot takes that I have no idea about because I've never tried the things I have hot takes on, which is fair. Neither of you have ever tried it. So you're saying something that
I've had roommates and I hated it. I have a wife. She's my roommate. Right. I don't want other roommates.
I'm directly talking to Nick Meyer now. You were a great roommate. You know that you and I wanted that thing to keep going, and you know that Betty put a kibosh on it. But Nick, if you're out there watching, someday,
at some point, there's going to be a night where everybody's been, doing shots and weird stuff. No, it's bad business.
No, that wasn't going to happen. No. Let's not go there.
Plus, I don't even like people visiting. I don't want somebody else living in my house.
You haven't tried?
I have had. No, one of my brothers lived with us for about 6-7 months.
Okay.
And
the worst of your brothers. It's not your favorite brother. This is the one you like the least.
No, that's not true. I like them all equally on the least.
No, you don't.
But no. And we had a big house, but it's still, there's somebody in your house.
Right.
I don't like having guests in my house.
I understand the privacy thing. I get it. I get all the things you're saying. That's why hotels
eat out of a pot.
Valuable. On that note, gentlemen, I'm out. I think I trolled the show.
Have a lovely week. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Good luck in Chicago, where you don't like the pizza and you drink giant beverages.
I do. This is all true, and I can't wait to move to New York City or New Jersey at some point in the hopeful near future.
And let's thank our unnamed benefactor. We had an unnamed benefactor who made it possible for Craig to be with us tonight.
Sure.
For as long as he's been with us tonight.
Yes. There is a sponsor to the show, a listener from my radio show that decided to help out. They noticed that I wasn't staying on most of the episodes. They wondered why. We had some chats about it, and that listener decided to help out. So thank you to that listener.
Thank you to that listener. That
all right, guys.
Witness protection listener.
Correct. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Craig.
Bye.
That's Craig.
Bye, Craig.
He's leaving.
I miss you.
Already? You miss him already?
Nah. I couldn't wait for him to leave. I couldn't wait to get rid of him. Taking the spotlight from you and me, Brian. God.
Now you know, and I know you're joking. And hopefully Craig will know you're joking when he goes tomorrow and listens to this. And then we get texts like, come on, man. Does Cody really not want me here? And I'll go, I don't know what Cody thinks. I want you here. You got to talk to Cody about that stuff. So
I love having Craig on the show. I love that it's such a frat party in here. All of us just
tonight is. It's it's fun. This is what we taught. So I listen, and I'll say this. I said it when he was here. I think his hot take on pizza was way off. Way off.
It was.
Hey, here's some big news.
Yeah.
Guess who's getting a vaccine?
It's not you. Is it your wife?
No.
Is you? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. When? How? Tell them.
Well, this is all right. So because I've been teaching for so long,
right?
The district gave me a letter because they need people to get back in the building.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out, and let me say this for all the people who are trying to get appointments. It is a nightmare to try to find an appointment. It is just, there's so many people who are in 1B that are 65 and over, that are grocery workers and teachers and first responders and all these people who are in this group. And there's a shortage of vaccine. We know that. And these places are opening up, and it is a nightmare. So, and I've been trying to get, I've been worried about my mom at 83. I'm like, she's got to be in. So I get an email from the district last week, and they said, listen, they're going to open up this site for appointments. Here's the email. It said to share it with everybody in the staff because the appointments will be when 1B is available. So it's through Cook County, and there were about, I think, 12 or 13 sites. And I spent a day and a half trying to get in to see if I could get an appointment. And finally I did, and it's way out. It's farther south than my mom's by a little bit. It's out in the far south suburbs. But I was like, okay, that I don't care. I'll drive. It's Saturday, so I'll do it. So I got the appointment, and then I was immediately overcome with regret. They're like, why should I get one? And there's so many people who can't get one and probably need it more than me, but well, they do need me in school to help with the kids. And it's, that's so I was like, okay. And Debbie was like, listen, if you can get one, get one. So then I turned the attention to my mom. Now my mom she had gotten a couple of, I think she's with the same medical group that you're with. And they had sent her an email a couple weeks ago. It said, listen, we don't know when we're going to do it. Then there was another one that said, we haven't heard yet. And then she called and they said, well, you're on our list. We know, we've got your records. You're definitely on the list. We'll let you know when we start doing them. So I call her, I don't know, whatever day. And I was like, listen, Ma, I got this thing. Do you want me to try to get you an appointment? It must have been because I heard Jimmy Kimmel talking about trying to get his in-laws an appointment and it taking him 3 hours, 2.5 or 3 hours to finally get his in-laws an appointment. So I was like, Mom, do you want me to do it? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just wait till till they call me and blah, blah. I go, Ma, do you really want to just wait or do you want me to try? But if you tell me to try, then I'm going to try and I'm going to take one. Well, but I don't know where, if I'm going to want to go. I said, wherever I get it, I'll take you. Because it's important. Listen, if I could give my appointment to Debbie, I would. She's in 1C. I want her and my mom vaccinated. That's it, So I go and I start doing it. And I'm looking at Jewel and I'm looking at Walgreens and I checked Walmart and I'm doing the county ones that I had. I signed her up for all these things and I'm going. And I'm like, oh, nothing is popping up. There's no appointments. And you know me, when I sink my teeth into something, I'm like, I got to do this. I got to get her an appointment.
Yeah, dude.
No matter what. Long story short, after yesterday, I'm sitting here and I'm just refreshing the pages. I'm going to each site and I'm just checking and I'm refreshing and I'm going. I had gone on at midnight the night before because I'm thinking, well, maybe after midnight, they'll open up that day's appointments and I'll be able to get them. No luck. I'm going. Just out of the blue, I refresh again on the place that I'm going Saturday and an appointment pops up 20 minutes after my appointment. And I'm like, click. And I had her all signed up already because the problem is a number of times I had found appointments for her. And by the time I clicked through and filled everything out, the appointment was gone.
Mm.
So now the Cook County portal, her portal was all set up and I clicked it and it went through and I'm like, oh, this is great. So I get her on the phone. I'm like, listen, I got it. Because I had most of her information, but there were a couple questions I wanted to make sure she was on the phone. She answers the phone without her hearing aids. And she launches in to this story about something. And I'm like, Mom. And she can't hear me because she doesn't have her hearing aids in. And I'm screaming, honest to God, like if I was calling you from 3 doors down across the yards, this is how loud I'm screaming into my phone. Mom. And finally she's like, what? I don't have my hearing aids in. I'm like, stop talking. I need you to do this. She's like, oh, I'll go put my hearing aids in and call you back. So we get it all done. So I got her. Mine is at 4:00. Hers is at 4:20.
Blaze it.
She's going to blaze up that
Nice.
Vaccine.
That's great. Can I say real quick too about I'm clearly the guilt or whatever about getting it. Look, every additional vaccine brings us one step closer to normalcy. Doesn't matter who gets it because every person that's susceptible to getting it is a vector for other people to get it. So sure, you may not be. That's the whole coronavirus thing that people always misunderstand, right? Like people that don't care about the masks or they don't think it's a big deal. Things shouldn't be closed. Well, I don't have a big chance of dying. The reason everything's closed is because people can spread this when they're asymptomatic, and you could be one place, then be another place, and you can be perfectly fine, but give it to 20 people who each give it to 20 people. You could be a vector that gives it to 1,000 people. So every person that gets it, it doesn't matter how old they are, it doesn't matter what comorbidities they have, you are still protecting your entire society around you, your whole environment, your whole neighborhood, all that stuff, your friends and family, by getting the vaccine. So no one who is offered a vaccine, like if you're watching this and you're offered a vaccine and you think, well, the coronavirus won't kill me, that's not the point. The whole reason the world has been in turmoil for 10 months now is because of the way it spreads. So
Right.
it doesn't matter if we vaccinate a bunch of healthy 24-year-olds. It's still really good to do that. We just got to get these vaccines out as much as possible. And it's cool the government's prioritizing those
Yes.
who are at higher risk of being injured from it. But at the end of the day, just vaccinate people, you know? So
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think you shouldn't feel bad about it at all, because you're helping other people you're helping your wife be safer, for
Yeah.
God's sake.
I'm hoping. And, this is how weird it is too. So my aunt, who's a couple years younger than my mom, she had gone to Walgreens before, and the Walgreens, even though they weren't supposed to, was making a list. They were putting people on a list so that when they got it, they would call. The other afternoon, she's sitting home. They called. They go, listen, somebody canceled. We have an extra dose. Can you get over here and get a vaccine? She was like, hell yeah, I could get over there. So she went over to Walgreens and bang, she gets her first vaccine.
Nice.
And her daughter, my cousin, who is a teacher, she was fortunate enough to get her vaccine. I know a number of the people that I work with have their appointments to get it. The problem is, that you were supposed to sign up for your second shot when you made your first, but they're not opening those appointments yet because they don't know. And my mom was like, well, what happens? Listen, we're just going to worry about getting the first one. Because the email that I got said they will give you an appointment when you get your first shot for your second shot. So I'm like, oh, listen, whatever, let's get our first one, and then we'll worry about that down the road. But I said, listen, we got to get you vaccinated. You still have to wear a mask because you don't know if you can spread it. Even you have the immunity, but you could still spread it. And she's like, oh, I know. But at least then you could come over to the house. You could, once Debbie gets it, you could come over. You can, we won't worry as much about you. So it's, like I said, I thank you for saying that. It is true that everybody needs to get it. I just, for a minute, I was like, well, and it was mostly like, well, my mom and Debbie need it more than I do. I need it. We all need it.
Yeah,
but
yeah. But again, you see them and you could give it to them.
Yeah.
So they are by proxy safer with you getting it.
Yeah. And it is, I was just, and this is not me, what do they call that? When you're showing off, or virtue signaling. I'm not virtue signaling. It's just because her friend also, her daughter, because listen, if you're in your 80s or 90s, and my mom knows how to use the computer, but these websites are a pain in the ass. And her friend's daughter did the same thing, found it, worked on it to get her mom a vaccine. And I think a lot of people are doing that because, you try to call, forget it. No, it's not a humble brag.
Yeah, humble. I think that's the phrase though that you were looking for.
That and virtue signaling. That was the other one.
Yeah.
Aren't I great? Which I am not. But yeah, I feel bad for everybody who's trying. It's impossible. And I know they keep saying, oh, be patient, be patient. I'm happy that the administration is sending out however many millions of doses next week, and they've made the orders and things are going. And yes, it's going to take a little longer, but I think by the summer we should be good.
I know Lightfoot said 1C, which would be my group and your wife's group. 1C would begin late March, early April.
Debbie's doctor said he thought mid-March.
Okay, great.
So that would be good.
Is she with the same medical group as me?
No, she's in a different one.
All right, because I messaged my endocrinologist, and she just sent a stock message back, like blah blah blah. We're monitoring, etc. I'm on the DePage list. I'm on the I don't know. I've contacted some people. My mom's getting really frustrated that I'm not just like calling every doctor in the state, because like your aunt, right? Like there's probably situations where you can be in the right place at the right time,
Right.
or get the right person on the phone and get it. Like if you spend all day making calls trying to get to the right people, you can probably find an extra dose somewhere. I mean, you're hearing a lot. I've been hearing a lot of these stories, right? Because it only lasts a few hours after they
Yeah.
open them, right?
Right.
Like a hospital staff will get it, and then over the PA system, they'll say, "Hey, well, we vaccinated all the doctors. We got 10 doses left. Any of the administrators want to come in? Secretaries, janitors, whatever, whoever's in the building, and they just get
Come and
it."
get it.
Like I got friends like that, so it's like I could hunt it down, but I just I don't know. And maybe I should. I really hate wasting time, and
Yeah.
and I don't know where the dead ends are, and I just
Well,
don't
and
know
especially because you're in that next group. Like, I signed Debbie up through the county, so she's going to get emails and texts when because you put in your stuff, you put in your age, you put in if you have any pre-existing conditions, you do all that, and so now she's on the list. So when your group starts and appointments start becoming available at this is just for the county sites, that the major site in Tinley and the other 12 or 13 sites that I was looking at, she'll get a notification, and then she'll be in the same position that I was and that everybody is, where you just go. But hopefully by then there will be more doses available. The problem is we got screwed over,
Yeah.
But then I talked to my brother in Florida, and he's like, man, they're giving them to everybody down here. People were doing vaccination tourism and coming to Florida. Now they shut that down. So you have to have a Florida ID to actually get a thing. But he said, yeah, everybody was getting them in Florida, which I found odd because Florida was one of the states where the governor and everybody was like, it's fake. We're not going to wear masks. Forget it. They've got so many vaccines. It's crazy.
Man.
But I don't know. It's so yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very grateful that I was able to get not only one for myself, because I'd be lying if I said I wasn't as eager as everybody else to get it. Listen, I want Bill Gates to know where I am at every moment.
Sure.
I am looking forward to having a tracking device in my bloodstream.
Now, is the microchip in the first or the second dose?
I believe it's in the first. That way they can tell you where to go for your second.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah. So
But I mean,
listen,
even
good.
beyond spreading it to high risk people that like you're also going to become a new like person that we can see and not feel like we're going to die around. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like my mental health might improve if like you get your second dose and then you could come over and have a beer.
That would
Because
be
my
nice.
wife and I are dying to see a human being that's not each other. Not that we don't love each other, because my God, if there's, I could be isolated with her for 10 years and be happy as a clam,
Sure.
or longer. And I feels like we have been sometimes. I'm so happy and so lucky with them. But like we're all dying. Everyone's going insane, like for social attention. So you know what? You get a vaccine. You get a vaccine. People are comfortable being around you. Like you could be the first person that people have hung out with in months.
Yeah, and I read a bunch of stuff that said from medical professionals that said, how do you react once you get how should you act once you get the vaccine? And they're like, act like you haven't gotten the vaccine. You still have to social distance, but I'm still going to wear a mask because you can still spread, but I don't have to worry. Like I would come to your house and we'd wear our masks and we'd sit 6 feet apart. I wouldn't worry about getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
I would still do what I could to protect you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were comfortable with me being there, then that's fine.
Yeah, a bottle of
Because it was nice to come. It was nice to come, and we talked about it last week. Me seeing your son, it was great to see him. And by his first birthday, we'll all be good, and we'll be able to, you'll be able to have a big party, and we'll all come and watch him put his face in the cake, and we'll laugh, and it'll be hilarious.
How do you deal with that first birthday parties? We were like, I mean, we weren't going to buy him anything, right? I don't know if we were planning on having a first birthday party.
Oh, for the family?
We would see family.
I think, all right. So ours was a little unusual because my brother Dennis and my sister-in-law Renee got married the weekend of Molly's first birthday.
Mhm.
So we were all in Pennsylvania, and the whole family was there. We saw, but then we came back, and our relatives from Ireland were still in town. They'd come to the wedding, and then they came to Chicago. So we did have a first birthday party, and I think most of my cousins and my nieces all had first birthday parties too. It's for aunts and uncles and maybe a couple friends, but it's grandparents and aunts and uncles, and it's family, and they'll buy him stuff just because that's what family does.
Sure.
And you get you get the little tiny cake, and the kids like smashes in it, and it's just fun. It's they don't know, they're like, oh man, you gave us a cake, and they're slamming into it. It's hilarious.
Sure.
But yeah, it's one of those things you gotta do, even if it was just you guys and your mom and dad and sister, brothers, and maybe Casey's parents, who I'm sure would want to come in. That's it. It's not a big ordeal. I mean, it can be as big as small as you want.
Yeah.
It can be like the cat birthday party that gave 15 people COVID.
What?
That was a story yesterday in the news.
Where?
People went to
Florida?
a cat birthday party.
Wait, let me
and-
guess what state. Not Florida. Not Florida, right?
No, not Florida.
I want to say Texas.
I think. Hold on, I'm looking it up again just to be sure, because I read it on WBBM News, their feed. So I want to make sure. I don't want to spread fake news. There's enough of that going on.
I'm gonna try and look it up.
Birthday party for a cat. Let's see. There it is. But yeah. Come on. Really? Oh, it was in Chile.
Well, still.
But still,
Yeah,
those are
it's not like
people. Those are people who went to a cat's birthday
Those are
party.
people. That's still not a good thing. If it seems to me like an American thing that would have happened. But here
Oh,
we go.
sure. I'm not one of those people who celebrate my pets' birthdays. To be honest, I don't know when my pets' birthdays are,
Yeah, no.
because we got them from shelters. I know I really don't know exactly how old my dogs are. I can kind of guess.
Yeah, I don't humanize pets the way other people do, and it's
Yeah.
great that they do. But like dog people, cat people, like I grew up with a dog. I like animals. I like
Yeah.
pets, but I don't. I wouldn't get one and dress it and talk to it. I probably would. I don't know. It's
Nah.
whatever.
I gave Molly so much crap because she bought Walter a little like jacket, but then she was like, he weighs 14 pounds. It's freezing. He doesn't have any hair. It's, I was like, okay. So it's just kind of a wraparound quilted thing that she puts on him when he's going for walks. And I'm like, okay, that I can do. But my dogs are big, so I don't put it on them.
Right.
But like little tiny dogs, I guess, okay. And I see people walking their big dogs, they have coats on, and some people put the boots on their dogs, and I don't know. My dogs are well taken care of, but they are dogs.
Right, they're dogs. They're not humans. That are
No.
like
Gidget's been laying here the whole time. She's chilling. She's happy. She doesn't care. Debbie had to go get an emergency root canal today.
what? Why?
Yes. Because she was bored. She wanted to get out of the house.
That sounds about right.
She woke up Monday, and she went to bed Sunday. Everything was fine. She woke up Monday, and she's like, "Oh my God, my tooth is killing me. My everything hurts." And I'm like, "Oh no." So she's like, this Sunday morning, she woke up like that. And I'm like, okay, what are you going to do? She hates the dentist. She's terrified of the dentist.
Oh, really?
I don't know anybody who likes going to the dentist.
I do.
Do you like it?
I actually like it.
Really? When was the
Yeah.
last time you were at the dentist?
Right before the pandemic.
Okay.
Because remember I had this like mouth infection, and I had to go in like the first week of March to get this thing checked out. I went to my dentist. He referred me to a periodontist,
Okay.
who referred me to an endodontist, who referred me to an orthodontist, who then took out my permanent retainer, sent me back to the endodontist, and then the pandemic hit.
Oh
And
no.
so I never actually got my thing fixed. I have like I have like a wound in my mouth that needs to get fixed.
Ugh.
So it's the first thing on our list now that the doctors are vaccinated. It's the first thing on our list to do in the next few weeks is find a dentist out here in the burbs, and then I'll have to go to them. They'll have to check me out, and then they'll have to refer me to an endodontist out here, which I didn't like the one in Chicago anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, no, it was a nightmare. But I went to Dr. Don't remember his name, but it was at Oz Park Family Dental on Lincoln Avenue, right by Lincoln Park, actually.
Right by your old place.
Yeah, great guy, great doctor. Doctor been there forever. He's so good. He made me care about brushing my teeth. I flossed every day for like 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah, no, he got me to take really good care of my teeth. And he was just awesome. And I actually enjoyed going because I liked feeling clean, and I took pretty good care. And they would like pump my ego a little bit and be like, "Your teeth are so clean." And like, "Oh man, you came in here the first time and your gums were all like receding and it was bad." And like, "I'm just so proud of you." And it was good. So yes, and it's never like, it's never as bad as you think. Like when you're a little kid, okay, but no, man, dude, if you're watching this and you haven't been to the dentist in a while, hit them up. They're not, they're not so bad.
Yeah. It's been a couple of years for me, but the last time I went, they did a lot of work. So I should be good. But she was in so much pain, and she was like, "Oh, I don't know." And I said, "Well, call the dentist that I went to, and she was really nice." And Debbie's like, "Yeah, I just hate going to the." So she calls Monday, and they were like, "Oh, that doctor leaves. That doctor leaves, but let me see if I can, the other doctor who's her partner, he's really nice. And, let me see if we could get you in." So they got her in Monday afternoon. So she goes to the dentist. Turns out she has a horrible infection, and they think it's from a bad root canal that she had before. So they give her antibiotics, and they give her, the strong Tylenol or ibuprofen. And they said, "Listen, if it's bad, here's a referral for an endodontist, I guess, to whoever does the root canals. And if that's bad, then, if it's bad tomorrow, call us or call them." So she comes home and she's taking the antibiotics, and yesterday it's just horrible. And she calls the endodontist yesterday, and they're like, "Well, call us tomorrow morning at 8. And we'll see if we can squeeze you in." So she calls this morning at 8:00, and they're like, "Okay, we can get you in at 11:30. You're our third emergency patient of the day. We can get you in." So she went in, and they gave her they fixed the root canal, or gave her a new root canal, whatever. But she's still in horrible pain. She's been laying on the couch asleep, and she's putting an ice pack on her face. And yeah, but she said, I was trying to be nice. I said, "Do you want me to take you?" "No, I can go by myself." "Okay. Do you want, is there anything?" "No, just go." I said, "Well, be brave." I said, "I know you don't want to go, but try to be brave." And so she came home, and she was like, "I was brave." It was like seeing a little kid. "I was brave." And I was like, "Oh, that's so good. I'm so proud of you that you were brave." But yeah, it's tooth pain, I think, is one of the worst.
It is.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
When something's wrong with your teeth, it's horrifying. But
I actually just got back from physical therapy about an hour ago, a couple hours ago. My shoulder's kind of jacked up, my right shoulder. It's always been weird. I don't even know how to describe it. And they told me the diagnosis, my doctor and then this physical therapist that he referred me to. Still couldn't tell you off the top of my head. They show you charts, and they show you all these muscles. They're like, "Oh, you're blah, 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 and you're blah, blah, blah." And I don't know what any of that means. Basically, like if I'm like bench pressing, let's say, there's a specific motion. And as I push forward, some part of my shoulder kind of pops. It feels like a pop. It doesn't sound like anything. And it doesn't hurt a lot, but it's like not a thing you should do while you're bench pressing, because it hurts kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been weird, but the last couple of months I've been waking up and it's been in pain. So anyway, I went to her. She has me do these range of motion things, and then kind of diagnoses it. But then she did a thing from acupuncture, and she used, I want to remember what it is. It's a hollow needle. Or no, that's not what it is.
Like a straw?
A dry needle?
Ugh.
No, I don't remember what it was. There was, hold on. Acupuncture needle? Dry needling. No, that wasn't it. Anyway, I don't remember what it was called. I think it was called a dry needle. I don't know. But anyway, she essentially put a needle into my shoulder and had to like feel around for the tissue and then kind of like poked at whatever the painful part was. But
Ooh.
what she found was basically I have some tissue kind of like compressed really closely between two bones. And so when I move in a certain way, it crushes that tissue, and that's where the pain comes from. So we just got to kind of like stretch the front of it and do some strength exercises for the back or something, and it'll kind of even out. So she thinks it'll be a few weeks, it'll be fine. But yeah, she put this needle in me, and I heard it. I felt it, and it probably 5 or 6 out of 10 on the pain scale. It was uncomfortable, but it wasn't bad. But anyway, long story short, she said, "Does it hurt now that you're leaving?" And I said, "No." And she was like, "I guarantee you, the next 24 to 48 hours is going to hurt a lot. I've never had a patient walk out of here, and sometimes they'll walk out of the clinic and be like, 'Oh, I'm fine,' but by the time you get home, it'll probably hurt." No,
Okay.
dude, I left there at 6. So it's been like 4 hours. It doesn't hurt. So I will probably wake up with a searing pain tonight
Probably.
or tomorrow morning, like just a horrible,
Oh.
horrible pain. But right now it feels great, right as rain.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
weird.
if you can make it through the next day.
Yeah. It's weird.
Ugh.
It's not from an injury. Like I had physical trainers at like, gyms in my early 20s. It was like 25, 26. And it would be like, "Hey, when I bench press, this happens." And they were like, "Oh, that's a problem." Or they'd be like, "That's weird. Whatever." I mentioned it to my doctor, downtown. The doctor didn't say anything. I got like one free physical therapy appointment at a gym I signed up for, a small gym, where they're like, "Yeah, we can maybe like assess stuff." I told them about it. They didn't know it. Like no one, I've told all these
Jeez.
professionals about it for like a decade and no one's ever known. So finally I told my last doctor and I was like, "Look, now it actually hurts. So
Yeah.
now we got to deal with it." But it's weird, man. Bodies are weird.
They are. And when somebody finally listens and figures it out, you're like, why couldn't they figure this out, a year ago?
Yeah.
But that's good. Now, let me ask you this. Was she in a mask and a face shield? What was the situation?
We just had
You got a
masks
person touching your body.
on. Yeah, we both had masks on. Well, all the care providers are vaccinated, right?
I hope so. That's Debbie said the dentist today had a mask and then a face shield, and he was like, "Don't worry, we've all been vaccinated." And I'm like, "Well, that just means they can't catch it." But
Yeah.
they were being very careful.
This is a dumb question that I should know because I do this for a living. But after you get the vaccine, you can still carry it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can still have it and you can still spread it. So
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna wait, but like, wake up, my shoulder hurts. Like, my wife will walk in and like put the baby down on the bed and be like, "Good morning, Dad," and like, I can't roll over and pick him up because my
no.
shoulder.
Yeah,
That sucks.
so is this something that's going to be an ongoing therapy thing, or does she think one treatment might do it?
I've got to do exercises twice a day, and she'll see me twice a week the next 3 weeks. So
Okay.
whatever. And I'm sure then I will have to have some stupid battle with insurance to try to get them to cover it, like I always do. It's been really fun. They're not covering the insulin that I need right now. They're like, "You
Really?
need to try this alternative one that doesn't work, that your doctor switched you from 3 years ago," because that's what we have the contract with, and you have to show documentation after 3 months that it's not working. So yeah.
Well, is your death certificate the confirmation? What kind of paperwork do they need?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. No, just be really unhealthy and hurt your body and be sick for 3 months. And then we'll maybe consider an appeal. Well, my doctor's appealed like 3 times. I had contacted our healthcare representative from my company. Like I've gone through every
That's
channel.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's that or pay $670 a month. Actually, probably $670 every 3.5 weeks, the way I go through it. So it's a good time.
It's
really
amazing. I don't know how people. Debbie said the other day, I don't know. She didn't know how people could get dental care if they don't have it. We're lucky that we have dental insurance, and it depends. Like it covers 100% of X-rays, but then it covers like 70% or 80% of the other stuff. And that 20%, while negligible or a lot less than the total, is still a chunk. And it's like, if you don't, I guess you don't get dental work. I don't know what people do. It's horrifying. And what we paid out of pocket today compared to the total cost was a fraction, but it was still like, man, that's a chunk.
Yeah, dude. See, I think the U.S. government should have just bought a bunch of GameStop stock last year.
Oh, that would
and then if
smart.
they cash out next week, they could pay for healthcare for every American for like 10 years.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Well, listen, there's so many fish to fry. We said we were not going to talk politics, but I am happy that the virus seems to be a priority. That's as far as I will go with politics tonight, because it's about time to start wrapping up. But yes, I'm hoping by next week we hear that those extra doses are out and more people are getting their shots, and it's not as crazy as it is for most people to try to get their shots. Because I am looking. Listen, I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff. Like I'm not unique. I'm like everybody else. Let's get this done. Get that herd immunity. What did Fauci say? Like 80. If we get 80% of the country vaccinated, we'll have the immunity. So, I'm good with that.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect is correct.
What's
coming up on Curiosity Daily this week?
This week? Oh man, I don't remember. Oh man, I forgot to mention. Yeah, we gave Craig a shout out on Friday's episode.
Nice.
We did a story about how when you ask people personal questions, like in conversation, it actually doesn't like upset them that much. So like you think that small talk has to be all like, how's the weather, blah, blah, blah. But like if you meet somebody at a party, you can ask like a kind of personal or like thought-provoking question and they'll actually really like that. And Craig, that's Craig, right? Like Craig he dispenses with small talk. So I mentioned him at the end of the episode, and he enjoyed the shout out.
Very nice.
So it was fun. This week, I don't even remember. Right now I'm editing episodes for a couple weeks from now, but is the Super Bowl this Sunday?
Super Bowl is the 7th of February.
Okay. So now we're doing like a Super Bowl story next week.
Okay.
It's not really a Super Bowl story, but they did this scientific study about NBA players, and they found that the players' performance is significantly affected by time zones.
Yeah.
Because of the circadian rhythms and stuff. And they were only able to study this because the NBA finished their season in the bubble, right?
Right.
So they were able to actually compare apples to oranges, like apples to apples, the stats against travel versus not travel. It's really interesting. So now it's like, okay, well, now are the NBA teams going to like change the way they travel and stuff?
That's always been a big concern with athletes, especially, when you had to travel way out west to play and it threw everything off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That should be interesting.
Yeah. Stuff like that. But, and there's a guy we have an interview coming out with next week, that did he wrote a book about breathing, and he found all this just insane stuff about breathing. Like we're evolving to breathe wrong.
Really?
How like if you breathe with your mouth, it actually changes the way your face like develops as you're growing up. And you should be breathing, like a lot of people should be breathing less than they are, because you need more carbon dioxide to get to your brain and through your body, because carbon dioxide is good for you. It all sounds like pseudoscience. This guy spent like 4 years researching it, and everything he says, there's photographic evidence of ancient skulls. Like literally you can look at thousands of ancient skulls, and it totally corroborates this. And all these scientific studies, like it's all research, but no one ever connected these dots. Super interesting stuff. So that'll be on Curiosity Daily soon.
Very nice. I want to plug something, and I will talk about it again. But for the last 10 years, I've emceed the Leukemia Research Foundation Rockin' for a Cure event. Well, this year they couldn't do Rockin' for a Cure for obvious reasons, but they are doing a virtual trivia night that is sponsored by Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. It is a Saturday, February 20th at 7 p.m. Let me hold on. I will put the info up here. So it's going to be you can have teams of up to 10, and they can be from anywhere in the world. It's $25 a team. There are going to be prizes, but not prizes for the winning teams. We're going to keep score of all of this, but the prizes are raffle prizes for national restaurant and chain gift cards. Every time, everybody who enters or registers gets a ticket thrown in, and between rounds, I'll be pulling raffle tickets and doing all that. And there's going to be a 50-50 raffle at the end. So when you sign up to be part of the event, you have the option to buy a raffle ticket, and perhaps you will win a lot of money. This is it should be a lot of fun. So you can have people from everywhere. Again, the teams are up to 10, and that should be it. It's going to be a Zoom thing, so everybody's going to go out, and they have a professional company that's running it. I am just kind of the master of ceremonies, as I am at Rockin' for a Cure. I'm just there to facilitate stuff. I don't really do a whole lot. But it's a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun. Trivia for a Cure. It's a benefit for the Leukemia Research Foundation. Again, that's Saturday, February 20th at 7 p.m., 7 to 9, they say. And there's prizes, there's fun, there's trivia, there's all sorts of things. So if you're interested, go to the link. I'm going to post all this on the show Facebook page, of course, so you can do that. And forgive me if I plug it again next week when we are here, because registration ends on hold on, I believe registration ends February 13th. So act now. Do not wait.
Awesome.
Act
That's
now.
rad. Everyone's always looking for stuff to do. Oddly, I think I don't know if I can make it.
The 7th of February. You're
I
busy.
think it's the 20th.
It is the 20th.
Oh. Drink.
It is
yeah,
the 20th.
No. We're doing a virtual beer festival on the 20th.
Oh, that's right. That's the one you were talking about last week.
But it's like breakfast beers, so they haven't come out with the schedule yet. So if it's like 10 to 5 or something, we'll just get drunk all day, take a nap, and then do your thing.
You could put your crazy your team together, all your crazy friends, Icebag John and your smarty doctor friends, and you can dominate.
Think about it. Well, not if I'm on the team, they won't dominate. I'm awful at trivia, which is weird because I know a lot of stuff.
I was
now.
going to say, you seem like a guy who should be good at trivia.
You'd think, but no, I never know anything they ask about unless it's pro wrestling, in which case, dude, come on.
There you go. Speaking of pro wrestling, last thing, I watched a movie the other night. It's a drama, but it's based on, do you know what one I watched?
Are you going to say it's the one about David Arquette?
No.
Oh, never mind then.
It's the one about Paige. They
made a movie about her?
Yeah, but it's a dramatized version. It stars the woman who was in Game of Thrones, who was Jaime Lannister's sister.
Oh, Circe.
Circe is the mom. Circe is Paige's mom. And Vince Vaughn is the WWE guy, and The Rock is in it. Because I guess I missed the first 20 minutes. But her brother, she comes from a wrestling family in England. It was really a good movie, a sweet movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I may check that out. No, another friend just recommended something. It's called like You Can't Kill David Arquette, I think.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one.
It's about David Arquette is thinking about returning to wrestling or trying to return to wrestling right now. David Arquette, yeah, the actor, had like a brief stint in WCW. He was actually WCW champion in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, late 90s it would have been.
Okay.
So, apparently it's about his like comeback to wrestling or whatever. It's supposed to be really good. I don't really know anything about it, but
Well, this movie was called Fighting with My Family.
Fighting with My Family, got it.
So
Nice.
check it out.
So is it a couple years old? Because I feel like I vaguely heard about it.
Yeah, I think it's been out for a little bit because I was it on Epix? It was on some one of those. It wasn't on Showtime or HBO. It was something else.
All right then.
2019 it came out. Sports drama 2019, PG-13, only an hour and 48 minutes. So there you go.
All right. Yeah, right then. Cool. Love it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good record.
All right, let's
Good shows. Fun.
It was fun this week. We had a good time. We talked about all kinds of stuff. You got to use a term we had never used on the show before, which was fun. Butt stuff. Craig had a lot of takes on pizza, which were erroneous.
They're very bad.
Very bad takes. Very bad takes on pizza. He's a guy who knows a lot of stuff. Doesn't know anything about pizza.
Mm-mm.
That's what are you going to do? We all have a chink in the armor, and his is a blind spot for New York pizza. He thinks he's Tony Manero at the beginning of Saturday Night Fever, walking down the street eating a folded up piece of pizza.
Yeah.
That's, whatever.
I really want pizza now.
I do too. I really, really could go for a pizza. So maybe this weekend, who knows? All right. So Curiosity Daily Podcast, part of the Discovery family of brands. Discovery Plus, or is it Discovery Plus? Yeah, the new streaming service.
Yeah, stream it now.
Check it out now. Yeah, we'll be back next week. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. The podcast will be up. The issues with Facebook will be remedied by next week. I hope. Who knows? Zuckerberg's out of his mind. Things are going crazy over there. But that is that. So have a great week. Cody, thank you again. Always a pleasure. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.